Okay, we're on the second day of the August 2020 mid payroll. So what we're going to do is open up PuTTY again and start up PuTTY. And then according to the run sheet, like we're going to log in, change directory. So we log in as QSSOPRSC, and then we type in the password. And then let's make this screen a little bit bigger. Okay, and then we need to change the directory. That's what the CD does. Okay, and the very first thing we do is we do this pay update, and it's going to create a job.
Job number.
Yeah, job number. So we record that. You know what I'll have you do when we do the I should have thought about that first. When we do the end of month one, we can get you one of these sheets, and you can actually write down all the stuff like what I'm writing down, so that you'll have a, you know, like something to look at later.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the command that if we're doing like the end of month, it takes like forever. I'm not sure how long this one's going to take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording. Oh, it's already done. We don't,
Oh,
no
okay,
need
that's
to.
what we're waiting for.
Yeah, because you know we saw before, like yesterday, there's only like 135 or so people.
153, yeah.
153. Okay, there you go. And so
Now we scan job, cat job.
yeah,
That's what
and you know what? They don't always come back so cleanly like that. I'm hoping this one doesn't, so that I can show you what you need to really look for. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a good one. Okay, so we did this here. See up here, we did this scan job 56275. Okay, and then you got all this stuff here. So what scan job does is it searches the log file for this job. So this
Oh,
job creates a log file, right?
yeah.
And it's searching it for the words like missing or error. And it's not like you get all this stuff and there's something wrong. It's just it found the word missing in the log file and it printed it out here.
I see.
So see, like error, ERR, right, where this says like 0. So you
You
can
want it
kind of,
to say 0, right?
well, you just don't want a line that says like, we found an error or something like that, right? So you can see like why it picked all these lines. So it picked this line because it had the word missing in it, and it picked
I
this line because it had, all these had the word missing in it. Actually,
see.
all these had missing in it.
So we want to say no, right? Because there's no missing account numbers.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is like anywhere in the log file where it said missing, whether it was okay or not, it would output that line of text here.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you see missing, but then you see 0, it's like, okay. And like this one is just asking a question, right? Add missing account numbers, yes, no. It's like, so this is just some line in the log file. It's not even like telling you anything. It's just asking something or other. But we don't get a chance to really answer it. So the short of it is that these are all just okay. There's nothing wrong here.
Okay.
And then you can see here like, oh, it also searches for the word error. So this is why I put out this line. But you can see like everything is 0. Nothing really seems to be wrong. So we're okay. And then the real test is if you do the cat job. And then, like I said yesterday, right, if the status is 0 and exit is 0, then you're all set. There's nothing wrong. Okay, the next one is this pay save. And it wants to use the Julian date. So it says, look up the Julian date. So the Julian date is, it's a calendar date. It's a day, right? The Julian day. So like January 1st is day number 1, right? January 2nd is day number 2. January 31st is day number 31. February 1st is day number 32.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that goes? It's like the day in the year. And of course, in leap year, you get, there's 365 usually, but in a leap year, there'd be 366, right? So what I have, and you can find it online, but I can also send you a copy, is this, it's just a chart that shows you, for like July 14th, what's the Julian date? The Julian day, I guess, is the better way to say it. So I'm going to go onto my little sheet and look this up. And so the pay date, let's see, does it say use the pay date? No, it doesn't say it explicitly, but what you're going to do is look up the pay date and see what the Julian day is for that. So the pay date is today, actually. It's the 20th. And August 20th is Julian day 233. And you really want to double check that because if you put in the wrong one, it messes stuff up elsewhere. So August 20th, and today's the 20th, right? Yeah. Okay, 233. So on the sheet, like what I do is I usually write down above here. So I write down 233 here, and then the year is 2020, and then the sequence number. So this is like a general rule. The pay if it's the first payroll for Santa Clara County on this date, then the sequence number is 0. The only time it's not going to be 0 is when you do the Ben payroll for the end of month. So what happens is the Ben payroll, even though we do it earlier in the week, the pay date is going to be the last day of the month. And then of course the actual payroll is the last day of the month. So that's really the only place you need to worry about. I don't know why we don't just say, I guess it's possible that there could be two, a mid and something else on the same day, but generally the sequence number is going to be 0. So the date we're going to use here is 2020, and then 233 for the Julian paid date, and then the sequence number of 0. So let me write that down on my sheet. 2020 2330.
The pay date for the end of the month is just the whatever 30th or 31st. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and well, when you get to this stuff for the end of the month, you'll also have to look up the Julian pay date as well.
Okay.
But the thing is, you would have already done the benefits payroll for the same date. So the benefits payroll has to come first, and the benefits payroll would be sequence 0, and then the actual payroll for the end of the month would have a sequence number of 1. But anyway, when we get to the end of the month, I'll show you how that works.
Oh, 1. Okay.
All right, this is just the mid. So okay, so we're going to do pay save, and then this date, which is 2020, and then followed by the Julian day number, I guess, 233.
That's the date out of the 365 days of the year. Is
Yes.
that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll send you a little chart that shows you like for every day of the year what that number is. Okay, so we've got, let's make sure we're doing this right. Just the year and the date and the sequence number. Okay, so we got that. This should be okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you, do you get a notice that says, that tells you what the pay save ID was?
Uh-huh.
You got one that says, like, you did an email that said the SC pay save ID is 2020-2330?
No.
Okay, we're going to need to get you onto whatever mailing list that is so that you can also get all these messages.
I'm not doing the payroll though.
Um, you're not going to do it?
That's what
Okay, all right, well, whatever then. Okay, so because I'm like one of those payroll people, I guess, I get a
oh,
message that says, it tells me, I get an email saying what the PaySave ID is. So even though
okay.
we typed it in there, also got an email saying what it is. Okay, so we're done with this step. And then the next step is this pay warrant PDF, which uses the same number that we used here. So we're going to do pay warrant PDF, and then the same number, 2020 2330. And yeah, that's all we need here. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so the other thing is that a lot of times it'll say, okay, turn off, exit out of PuTTY basically. I never do that. I just wait because I mean it's just going to tell you to log back in again later on. So every time
Yeah.
you log in, it's going to create a new log file. So I'd rather just keep it turned on, keep
Okay.
keep PuTTY turned on, don't exit yet, and then at the end you'll just have one log file to copy over to the area. Okay, so now we're going to log into QCC.
Okay.
Put that out of the way. And it says, okay, and it says with yours.
Huh?
Yeah, so it says log into QCC with your username and password, but you have to understand it's not like your normal QCC. You have to log in with your, like mine
Oh,
is.
something that you logged on yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be my, OPR account.
So the person doing payroll, they would select OPRSP also, and then they would have their own password.
No, they would have their own account. Like if it
Oh,
was you, you'd have an OPR CT account.
oh, I see. SP is just your initial. I
Yeah,
see.
that's my initials. So yeah, that's why it says your account, but it should say your your OPR account, not your regular QCC account. Okay, so we logged in, we did that. Okay, now we're going to create the bank file. This is unfortunate because the job number thing is over here, but the instructions are on the next page. So let's go to the instructions. Oh, what does it say?
Oh boy.
Okay, so from the finance menu, select warrant management. So here it is here, warrant
Okay.
management. And then it says, select the create positive pay file. So that's whatever this WRX 200SC, the last one here. So we click on that, and then we get the, okay, now we get the picture like we have in the notes here. And we want the, okay, so the 2 dates we put in on the payroll over, so it's payroll here, right? We put payroll, and the 2 dates we want are basically the same date. It's just going to be the pay date, which is today. So it's 08 20 2020 08 20 2020, and then we click on the CH&M.
So this is for they're getting paid tomorrow, right?
No, they're getting paid today. We need to finish this by 10 o'clock. We need to get the, well, we need to get the bank file to the bank by 10 o'clock. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're a little under a little pressure here. Don't worry, it's okay. We'll make it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we got the, okay, so it's gonna run in report mode, right? So we're gonna click submit, and it's gonna give us a number.
Mhm.
56313, and then we're gonna go over to Print Manager and look for that job number. Okay, here we go, 56313. And then
Mhm.
we're gonna click on the little thing here to open it. And what we're looking for is to make sure this number here
Uh-oh. Oh,
match that number that we had before, right? So we have 153, so we're all good.
oh, is that one or three? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read actually.
No, it's, oh, I
You,
thought it says a two.
yeah, exactly. So what you can
When you
do
get it
is
on, yeah.
you can go up here and make the font bigger, and then you can see that it's a 3.
Oh, okay, I see now.
Yeah, okay, great. So now we're going to go back and just do the exact same thing, except we're going to switch it to be, whoops, that's not the right. We're going to switch it to be update, because now we want it to actually, do its thing. So that what it just did there was gave us like a preview of what it was going to do. Now it's going
Uh,
to actually create the bank file for us.
uh-huh.
Okay, so here we go. 56334.
Refresh.
And then, yeah, like on our run sheet, it did this one in report mode. It just basically repeats all that stuff again, um, showing you that you're going to do it in update mode. So, see, so we just went through 2 pages in like, a minute. Okay, let's see if it's there.
Nope.
Not yet.
You just sit there and wait, or how do you know that it's done? You just keep refreshing.
You can keep refreshing. I mean, it will update automatically eventually.
Oh, I
It'll
see.
repaint this, but if you're like kind of anxious, you can keep hitting update. The only thing about update is sometimes it'll show you the job. It's not quite finished yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but usually, I mean, this is, yeah, see, it's a very small, it's only got 39 lines in it, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, we just check again just to make sure it says 153. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save this because we're going to email it to Linnell. So we save it by, have you done this before in QCC, saving a
No.
file?
Uh,
Oh, okay, so what we
well,
do
but
is we,
it opens, or oh, you do it that way? Okay.
yeah, I don't know, like, I think sometimes it messes up if you do it this way. So I just, I don't open it up and do it. I just do it directly from here. So just select it, don't open it, and then click on this, create PDF, and it pops
Oh,
up this window. And you got to be really, so the input, I don't know why it highlights the input because we're not going to change that. We are going to change where it goes though. So, well, actually we're going to change what it's called. So it's going to go onto my desktop.
okay.
Sometimes you got to be careful here because sometimes like this will be pre-filled with something else and then you'll save it and you'll be like, well, where did it save it? So just
Yeah,
check that it's going to save it to where you think it, you want it.
where you want it to be, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it on my desktop, but I'm going to call it SC positive pay for um, 08 20 2020 mid payroll. And that's just when Linnell gets it, it's named something that she can make sense out of. Okay, and then we're going to save it. And it should go to our desktop. Put all this stuff away. And then we're just going to email this to Linnell. Okay, we can actually see who we're supposed to send it to. So Linnell, Tuan, Cindy. So I usually send it to Rhonda.
There's also Tram Lee.
Oh yeah. So I didn't update all these things for Tramley. So Tramley does get. Oh yeah, sorry, I did update this one. So Tramley gets the positive pay file. So
Tuan.
who else? Tuan and Rhonda.
So she would send it to the bank?
No, we're going to send it to the bank in a second.
I see.
See, this is why it's so satisfying. You get to actually
You get to
you really are paying people. Okay, so there we go. So we're done with that. They're always anxious about this. Like sometimes they'll like be calling us at 8:30 in the morning saying like, where's the positive pay file? It's like we haven't gotten to that step yet.
It has to be submitted by 10.
Yeah, we're almost there. It's the next step, so we'll be okay. Okay, so transfer the bank file to the oh yeah, that is what it's doing. So we're actually pulling the bank file out of QSS and putting it in a folder somewhere.
You thirsty.
So yeah, I don't know. She's always like thirsty. We don't need this anymore.
So what does Linnell actually do with the file, just to keep it in her records? Is that what it is, or?
I'm embarrassed to say I don't exactly know what Linnell does.
Oh,
She's the one who kicks off the payroll though. She's the one who sends that message saying start doing payroll. So I think she's kind of like coordinating it.
I
And
see.
she definitely checks the numbers to make sure that the numbers, like the 153 matches up, with what she thinks too, right? So, okay, so we're gonna go to this QSS transfer thingy.
Is this where it goes to the bank right here?
Now we're gonna move it to a folder first, because right now it's kind of like stuck inside QSS. Okay, so yeah, select this and go to the next page, I guess. Okay, so this is where it's nice that we have these screens, even though they take up a lot of space in the document, but you can see exactly what to do. So we select this 26, and then they could have put a couple things on the same page, I suppose. Okay, and then we go to here. This is like an excruciating detail, which is why we spend like about 3 seconds on each screen. And then we pick data, and then we pick bank file, which is down here somewhere. Okay. And then, oh yeah, so then we have to click on this. So it fills it in. And then we click on this. Okay, we know how to click on that. Let's see what we need to do there. Oh, we're going to put it in the Wells folder. Okay, so
Wells Fargo?
yeah, it's Wells Fargo.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly where this bank file is going. Okay, so we click here. Now, see, it wants to put it in.
The temporary folder. But you
Yeah,
don't.
so it wants to put. We want to put it here, but look where my thing is pointing to. It's pointing to
Yeah.
something, right? So we need to change this. So we can.
RTC.
Yeah, I think we can just start typing it in, the whole thing.
But
So,
when you're doing it, do you actually have to look at the sheet or you just know it by heart now?
oh no, I followed exactly every
Oh,
time.
really? Even though you've been doing it for a while?
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah. Can't you put it as a default, this route here? No?
You know, a lot of times when I do it, it is the default. So I don't know. I've been messing around with other stuff in QSS, so maybe that's why it.
Oh, I see. There it is.
Okay. And you can see like there's other bank files out here already.
Uh-huh.
If you see, okay, so we're going to name this one, I think it's called bank file. Oh, paybank.dat. If you see a paybank.dat already here, you probably need to stop. I don't think the things say that. The directions say that, but you need to stop because you don't want to clobber. When we transfer it to the bank, it's going to rename it. So you can see all these other ones here. Like here's one we did on 2019. What is this?
January 9th?
Looks like January 9th. Yeah, something, and then some other ID at the end. And that's why we don't want to start too early because the AP process, which runs every day, the accounts payable process, also creates a file by this name.
I see.
Right. So we don't want to like clobber them. And I don't know. I think Jim's going to look into like why we can't just have a separate place so that there's no possibility of clobbering them. So paybank.dat is the name of the file. And we're going to open it and send it back. Okay. So now let's see if this thing shows you what it's supposed to look like. Yeah.
Okay.
This is so old. This is referring to Bank of America. But anyway, we have this
Oh,
here. And then we've got this here. Okay, looks good. So we move it
by pressing
by
that.
pressing that thing. Yep. So here we go. Okay, and then it's good to note like how many lines there were. If it says 0, then there's probably something wrong because you'd expect there to be something going to the bank, right, for 153 people. So that's good. There's 100 there, and then transfer was complete. That's good. So now we're going to go down to the next step. You just give me a sec to catch up on my own sheet here. Okay. So now we're going to put it onto. It's been put into this folder called the Wells folder, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to go to another system, and we're going to remote into that system.
Operations BD1.
Yeah. So we just go to remote desktop connection, and I guess I don't ever go there for anything else, so it's already filled in. And then we say connect, and ask for a password. Okay, now the problem is this came up on my other screen. Let me move it over. Let me move it over here, and I need to move it. Okay, so we moved it to that. So on this computer, basically, it's got a bunch of folders set up. I mean, shortcuts to folders set up. So I should be able to go into this Wells folder, and you got to be careful because there's a Wells, and then there's like an SB Wells, and I think there used to be some
You
other
want
Wells.
Wells with an O.
You want the one with the O, right? So it says here too, right? Like check to see if the paybank.dat is in Wells O. So let's open this up and just make sure it's there. Let me make this a little bigger. There we go. It's there.
Is it always on the top?
Probably because it's sorted by date.
Oh, okay.
So, and watch, you're going to see that when we run this procedure, it's going to rename that. Okay. So the next step. So yeah, it is there. Run the file payroll on the desktop. So now you got to go over here and find this shortcut. And sometimes it's like,
Do you just double click on it to run it, or?
yeah, but we got to find it first. So
But
you got to be careful because the San Benito stuff is over here too. There's shortcuts for San Benito because I use the same thing.
Oh, you
So,
don't click on that file at the top here and run it?
oh, no. So that's just the data file. We're going to go over here to one of these icons and run it.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
so hang on. What's it called? It's called run the file payroll. Really?
What?
Let's see if we can find, where's the file, the thing? Payroll.
I don't see it.
Yeah, so my window wasn't fully expanded.
Oh.
So it's down
Oh,
here.
it's down there. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
yeah, so you gotta be careful, right? All right, so here we have paybank.dat. Now watch what happens when I run this. It's gonna pop up this, you don't do anything, you just watch it.
You just
But
wait till it stops
yeah, but
scrolling.
you'll see this file got renamed.
Oh, I see.
Right, so now, now the next person can come along and also create a bank file and send it, right? So, okay, so we're good. So this thing got sent, and it's 9:33 or 9:35.
That was
Oh,
already sent?
it just sent it now. And
Oh,
then if you're part of the payroll thingy, what you'll get is an email that says that, you just did this, that
all right.
the pay
You got it
bank went.
now.
Okay. Okay. So we made our 10 o'clock deadline. Yay.
So once the name changes, that you know that it went to the bank.
Well, you know that this process ran, that
Okay.
this thing completed correctly. So yeah, so the only thing that could screw up is like, I don't know, somewhere between us and the bank it got messed up, or maybe it didn't generate all the right, like maybe we said it saw 100 lines, maybe it was supposed to do 120, but we don't know that. We won't know that until the bank tells us that there's some problem. So but I don't think this is ever messed up for me, so it's
Okay.
pretty safe. Okay, so we're done with this remote desktop. The only thing to remember here is that since this is shared between us and San Benito, so like Alan Tang does the San Benito one, or
Oh,
and also the AP folks use this. So what happens is if it's like, say Alan tried to log in to this this machine, it would kick me out. It doesn't say like there's someone
oh,
already using it. So
okay.
sometimes you get kicked out in the middle, but not very often.
Okay.
But you have to be conscious too, like when you log in, you might be kicking somebody else out. So usually like when we were all here, I would just kind of shout over the wall to
Like, hey, I'm gonna log in.
yeah, but usually like Alan does his before me.
Hmm.
So there's usually no problem. Okay, so let's just minimize this, and we're going to go back to our run sheet. Okay, check to see if it's there. Run the payroll. Okay, so this is kind of a dumb thing. So check to see if you got an email. If you didn't, everything was okay. So like, I don't know. Like, okay, how long do you wait? I usually wait about a minute if I don't get a email from SafeTrans saying that there's something wrong, then
Okay.
just keep going. Okay. Okay, and guess what? We're done, almost.
Almost.
Yeah, so when we have the end of the month and also the 10th payroll, there's other files that need to get generated and sent off. So like
Copy putty logs. Okay.
yeah, you gotta copy the putty log too, but there's like you'll be running stuff to do the payment or all the payment stuff for the benefits, like you know not the benefits payroll, but you'll be doing things like sending files off to Optum and the benefit providers, and then there'll be files at some of the districts we're nice to them and we create files for them to review, things like that. So for the end of month, there's a lot more to do after this step, after you sent the bank file. But for the mid, we don't do direct deposit for the mid. So there's no direct deposit processing here, which you'll have on the end of the month. So we're done. We got to this point. We're going to update this Pay Save ID spreadsheet. Okay, so that Pay Save ID was the thing we did back on the other page, right? That was the 2020-2330. Okay, so we're going to go. We keep a list of all those.
Okay.
Let me bring it over here. So it is here in this operations folder, and then we go to payroll, and then we go to pay save, and then I don't know, they've just never changed the name since 2018, but it's this spreadsheet here. This pay save ID is 2018. What's on the other screen? Okay, so you'll notice that there's two tabs, one for San Benito, one for Santa Clara. Don't modify the wrong one. But what's really nice is that for the 10th and for the mid and for the end of month, San Benito does the same thing we do. I mean, they end up with creating the same kind of files, and they'll have the same pay save ID. So one check I always do is that, and they always go before I do, right? Alan will do it before I do it. So I can look at his and see, oh yeah, make sure it's the same as mine, right? Make sure there's no difference.
330.
So it could be that his was wrong, and it could be that mine was wrong if they're different. But I always check to make sure that he used the same pay save ID because it should be the same.
Okay.
Okay, so we go over to the Santa Clara side, and this is in August, and it's a mid, and then sometimes I forget, so I just go back and copy from Alan. It's a mid, and the pay save ID was 2020-2330, right? Is that right? Yep. I mean, you shouldn't really just copy from Alan. You should, check to make sure you also think it's the right thing. And whoops, we're in August. Oh, that's wrong. That one's wrong. It should be 8.
Oh, yeah.
It happened in August, right? Let me just check Alan's too, but I'm sure that's, yeah, right. That makes sense. Okay, so the date is going to be 8/20/2020, and this is a PHC. Honestly, payroll hand cancel. So.
And what is PREG and BREG?
Okay, this stands for benefits regular. So you notice this was a benefits payroll, and then the 10th payroll is considered a regular payroll, so it's a payroll regular.
Okay.
And then the end of month is a payroll regular. The PHC, so when they used to have it, used to be called a it used to be called a manual, but the type was a PHC. I don't know, whatever that means to them. Yep. And then we just save this. It's a good idea to just make your change and save it, because and then yeah, save it and then get out, because like Lydia will want to open this file up from time to time, and it's just kind of annoying if you're trying to open it and it's you know, locked by somebody else. So I forgot if I saved it or not. Let's save it. Okay, so I save it, and we can close it. We don't need to do anything else here. So we did the save, and then
Email DBAS.
oh, where's the thing that says save your putty log?
Let's just copy putty logs to operations right there. Create new folder such as SCMID 07. Above where it says where all the lines are. Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, this is why you gotta. I mean, this is why I always like just try to read the thing line by line. Because
Uh-huh.
see, I don't know, why is this thing here? It should be like over to the left, you know. It should be,
Yeah, because it's a
yeah,
bullet, so it should be to the left.
yeah. So I mean, and there's other places too, like where it says, you know, send the email. It's like kind of buried in one of these paragraphs, you know. So I don't know. I would restructure it a little bit, but we can copy the putty log in a second. Let's yeah, I guess we're done here. Okay, I'm going to close this run sheet. We're gonna copy the putty log, and we're gonna send an email to DBAS. All right, that's because I want some real estate on my screen. Okay, so we're done with QSS. We can close all that out. Okay, so let's send an email. Okay, so then what I usually do is I just take the email that Linnell sent me in the first place
Uh-huh.
to tell me to start the payroll, and I just reply all.
Okay.
And
Because they're all in there, yeah.
yeah, and then I'm kind of lazy, and I just say complete, and then and then
Submit payroll for
yeah,
blah blah.
yeah. I mean, it's not. I have a template for some of these emails, but I mean, as long as you get the gist of it. So what happens is they lock payroll, right? Remember I was telling you about that calendar, and there's that
Mhm.
L on it. But actually, so the L is when they lock it, but we're the ones that tell them that it's okay to unlock it, because we don't tell them that until we're absolutely done with everything. Rhonda's really strict about that. Like I kind of felt like, well, you know, you could unlock it once we've done all the QSS stuff, because what they're
Mhm.
locking is QSS. And then, but then there's all these reports that have to be generated, and Rhonda's like, no, we just wait till we're done with all of it, and then we tell them that payroll can be unlocked. May now be removed. The pay save ID for this payroll is 2020 2330. And that's it for that. And then we're gonna go copy our putty log. So that is, it's in operations, but it's the folder called production runs, and then here, and then payroll. And remember, yesterday I created the folder already, right? Because I put yesterday's log there. Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah. Remember what I told you yesterday? We got to log out of putty to make sure that it writes all the log file out. Okay, so now the log file's been written out, and we're just going to copy it. So when I set up putty, I set up a folder to put my logs.
Uh-huh.
So here, we just go here. So it'll be today's.
That's the one. Okay.
Yeah, the thing to remember is every time you open PuTTY, it's going to open up a log file and try to save it when you exit. So like if you like yesterday, I was kind of playing around, like opening PuTTY and then closing it. So it like these log files are like, there's nothing in there. They're not important. But so we're going to copy this one.
So when you exit, it automatically does a log for you, or I
So
didn't.
when, yeah. So when you, yeah, let me just copy this here first. Okay, so when you open PuTTY, it
Uh-huh.
opens a log file, and then whatever you do in PuTTY, it writes out the log
Oh,
file. Okay,
as
but
soon as you.
it has this like internal buffer, right?
Oh,
So every once in a while, it'll write that buffer out. So if you don't close PuTTY, the log file, the file might not have everything in it. So what you want to do is you want to exit PuTTY. Part of exiting says anything you got left over in your internal buffer, write out to the file. So then you know
uh-huh.
that the file is complete, right?
So it automatically does it. You don't have to do save or anything. Wow.
No. No. When you exit PuTTY, it saves that file. And
Wow.
okay,
Okay.
so we've copied the file there. So we're done. We finished in a 40, whatever that is, 47 minutes or something. Not too bad.
Oh, cool.
You sure you don't want to do payroll?
So many steps. I would
Okay,
have
I'm gonna